Hey guys, right, continuing with surface finishing. Okay, I think I'm going to do the gearbox first, which will be pretty much the same what I do with the engine. So on the gearbox, this one being not too bad, I want to add a bit of texture to it. There's some bits on here which we'll have a close-up in a moment that are not too brilliant, so we'll tidy them up first before we add a bit of texture to the surface. Also, I'll show you close up in a minute. This section here, so you've got the casing on the front and you've got a section here that's also got a smooth finish. Now I've done this on a few and I think it looks much better. I'm going to texture that as well. So obviously Dan's decided now that he's going to have some of the casings powder coated. I'll say I have done some bikes like that, especially the black and silver Enfields that I've done, and it looks really good. I'll see if I can find a picture and add it now. Yeah, so the colour he's choosing, we're going to do the casings in this colour, so it'll be a bit more maintenance free on the cleaning and polishing. You'll be able to just get a wipe over and look after it that way. I don't think he wants to spend hours and hours and hours and hours polishing his bike if he gets it dirty. But anyway, we'll add a bit of texture to this and then we'll have a look around the engine, because these engines are always a mixture, and I've never understood it, of smooth and textured, and there's sort of no defined line where it starts. It's quite random, but I think we're going to get all the engine textured as well, just so it all looks the same basically, instead of a complete mismatch of different surface finishes. Anyway, let's have a closer look. So the actual finish on the gearbox is not too bad, but we're going to make it better and cleaner. So you got bits like this, they're a bit sort of chewed up looking, and this section here, which we will tidy up before we add texture. It's just small random parts like that on it really, but apart from that it ain't too bad. A bit of webbing there that we can dress out, ain't a problem. But we're going to make the whole surface the same, and like I say, we're going to go over this section here and texture that up as well, and just have the surface smooth and coloured on the colour of Dan's choice. So on the engine, and they're all like this, well, everyone I've had is like it, so you sort of have random bits where it's smooth, you know, you could polish it up, but then with no sort of defined line where it starts, it's like the just polished highlights just at the bits that they can get at, and just left the rest of it as it was. So all on here has got a texture, then this is smooth, this bit's smooth, and as it goes around here, obviously where they couldn't get with the mop, is textured. Same round here, so all this is smooth here, and then obviously where they haven't been bothered to get with any polishing mops behind here is all textured. And same here, that face is sort of smooth, textured in there, turns the texture down underneath there, and obviously all on top here. And it's a bit battered here. I've just decided to see what is going to come out on the camera so you can see it, but we'll dress all that up first and then hopefully get it all to match. So as you can see, this casing will be powder coated. As like I say, he wants it sort of maintenance free or easier on the cleaning maintenance. So yeah, we have decided that these casings are going to get powder coated. So doing this band on the gearbox in a textured finish will sort of then match how this looks. That's what I think anyway. And it's same here. This panel here is always smoother, and then it's all textured. Like I say, it's like they've just polished bits that they can get into, and I don't know, I think it's quite annoying. It makes the back of my eyes itch, so I want to put it right so it all matches. But we'll do the gearbox first, and then if we have time we'll move on to the engine. But we'll definitely go through this and sort of show you what I do, and then like I say, none of my videos are how-tos. Let's put this back. Yeah, no, I don't want to put my videos across as this is how you do it. It's just little tricks that I use, and you know, if it's any help to anybody, then well, fair enough. But you know, I'm not sitting here saying this is how you do it. There's probably other ways of doing this as well. You've probably all got your ideas that you've used yourselves. But I simply dress some of the rough stuff up with this little belt grinder, and then do the texturing with the deburrer, the die grinder. And I've got a mixture, if I can pick them up with my clumsy fingers, a mixture of tools just to get into the tighter spots and make it all blend in. But you have to be careful, because with one of these you slip and it's taking a big chunk out. But it's quite simple. I know it's a real basic way of doing it, but I find it's worked for me over the years, so I've sort of stuck with it. Anyway, let's turn the wind on and give it a go. We'll move the engine out of the way. And concentrate on this. So we'll dress these bits up first, and you barely take anything off the surface. You just literally lightly skimming across the surface. You're probably taking no more off than as if you was to put it on a polishing mop, to be fair. So you just got to be careful. So we'll leave the outer casing on to start with. It doesn't matter if I sort of like touch that with the die grinder, because we're dressing all that up anyway when we take it off. I'm leaving it on just to protect the inside of the gearbox a bit from the bits that are going to come off, although I will be washing it all out anyway, so anything that does find its way in there will be washed out. I will be thoroughly washing it, because it's quite easy to get into and swill a load of paraffin around there and get it all sorted. Anyway, let's get stuck in. So I'm going to dress this up first, because that is a complete mess. It looks quite nasty actually when you get a close look at it. We'll see. We'll be very, very careful, because when we do the texture it hides quite a lot, but I just want to get it a tiny bit better than that. Right, that's pretty much got all the texture done. As you can see, it looks a bit cleaner. And what I do next, I'm sure I've showed you this before, shared it. Again, it may be a silly idea to some, but it works. This, I'll show you. It's an arts and crafts product called Rub and Buff, and this is Silver Leaf, and it's just really good at tidying it all up. And again, yes, there's loads of options you can do. Like I say, I'm not telling anybody what to do with their engine. You could possibly lacquer it and whatever you want to do with it, but this stuff again is brilliant, because if you do knock it or scratch it or mark it, you just simply brush a bit of this in and it's just straight away back to like new. It just helps with the maintenance and keeping the bike fresh looking. So if Dan decides that he wants to just give this a freshen up, he'll just a bit of this and a toothbrush, a couple of minutes around everything, and it'll be sorted again. As you know, if it's lacquered, as you know, you've seen alloy wheels on cars and stuff, as soon as they get chipped and stuff and the weather gets under the lacquer, it is one big mess, even with the powder coating with lacquer and stuff like that. So yeah, just tiny dab of this. This is just like a coloured wax, so no different to polishing your car really. You know, you can get some of them colour reviver things for your car. I guess it's no different to that. And this also withstands heat, because I did a silly little test on it many years ago when I had the log burner sat over there in that corner, and I put a bit of this on a few alloy parts, sat them on top of that log burner all day long, and it was full of coal burning away, and it didn't affect it at all. So that's my scientific test. Ultimate technology in this shed. So let's use a new brush. Treat myself to a new brush. Tracy will never know I've stole it. Put it back when we're done. Okay, I've gone over that with a cloth, give it a bit of a buff up. I'm just going to place everything back together for now. I've cleaned this a little bit, because obviously that's now getting powder coated in a colour that Dan chooses. I know you're all going to have your own opinions on how you do it, which is obviously, that's what the comments are for. That's great, but I'm just doing this for Dan and doing it how he wants it. Right, there we go, that's about there. I've put all the casing back on now. I've got a new gear selector rubber on there. I'm just waiting for a rubber for the kickstart, and then I'll get all that back together. The texturing's done, at least now when I do the engine. As you've seen on the engine, it's got smooth bits, textured bits, so it's a bit of a mess. At least when I've done that, everything will match each other now. And the main body of the engine be all done in the same silver, and obviously the casings are getting powder coated, so all the casings, primary case, everything will be all powder coated in a colour of Dan's choice, and everything else finished in the scrub bare metal and beeswaxed, obviously, as you've seen in the previous video that I've done these in. So that will do for this video. I think I'm going to get on and do something else now. I think the next video will be a bit more on the GS, so let's have a closer look before I clear off. I don't know how well you're gonna see with the camera, I'm not sure. It looks a bit bright, but not a lot I can do about that. At least it's got a nice fresh look now. Although there's going to be no chrome or anything like that on there, it's still going to look nice and clean. Yeah, I don't know how well it looks. Anyway, it's better than when we started out this morning. So there we go, another bit done. You know, if you choose to have a go with this stuff, you know, it's entirely up to you. I've said it before, they're not how-to videos. I'm just sharing my everyday bits and bobs of what I do, and you know, this stuff I've done for years and tried it, and some things don't work, some things do work. This is one of the things that did work amazingly, because it is literally an arts and crafts product, and it stays on, like I say, and this fares up well with the heat, because I've tried it when I had the log burner in here, like I say, and sat pieces on top, it coated in that, and it didn't affect it one bit. Left them sitting there all day long. So I know it's safe with the engines and stuff, but all we need to do now is get the casings powder coated and put that back together, and in the meantime I'll get on with the engine. Yeah, I think that'll do. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.